get over to the Nerdrotic and subscribe. Tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. Now, for a reaction with my commentary. Are you ready? I know you're ready to have some fun. Let's get it.
We have a sold out show, and I'm about to surprise the fans.
Sold out show for what?
They recognize me.
Hi, I'm Bree. I'm that one in the center. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited to see.
What has all of this coalescing been like for you?
Sold out for what?
Hi. So are you excited to see it or like no?
Note to Marvel, the women have something to tell you. Now, I'm sure you've heard the term MCU. Yes,
Whoopi Goldberg is one of the greatest actresses of all time. I truly believe she is. She's good at selling whatever it is that they have her sell.
expensive, but it's also becoming undeniably true.
I cannot even fathom the full circle-ness of all of this.
I try not to.
Oh my god. I'm never gonna find an inch to recover from this.
nerdrotic.com.
There is no MCU, but maybe there should be. This is an article from The Nerdist back on August 31st, 2022, which hasn't aged very well, but it serves a powerful purpose. The Marvel's failure is a massive win in the culture war for you and me, and we will get to that. But first, I'd like to welcome the almost 900,000 awakening wonders out there, lovers of all things good, dislikers of all things bad, and the 40% who haven't subscribed yet. Because as sure as the sun is going to rise in the east and set in the west, as sure as the Rings of Power Season 2 is going to be a massive failure, as sure as Disney's going to put a ticket at Mega Let It Gay,
The only way it won't be is if they didn't woke it up and they went with some real, fan service. Good fan service.
knew the Marvels was going to be a complete disaster, and the only question was how much, and it turns out it exceeds our lowest expectations. The Marvels...
Yeah, it's doing worse than what I thought. It's actually doing worse than what I thought it was going to do. I'm like, God, it's setting records. Okay.
isn't just a box office bomb. It is an undeniable, catastrophic failure, and again, a win. The good news is the Marvels did bring people together, just not in the way Disney Marvel intended. Before we even get started, I want you all to make sure to stretch because I don't want you pulling a hammy on your well-earned victory laps. Now, it looks like the only people surprised by this massive, epic, catastrophic failure...
Is there anyone that's surprised?
is the Access Media, and I'm enjoying the hell out of it. Disney Marvel, and as the Access Media calls Nia DaCosta, black female director Nia DaCosta, set out to make a fun, funny film that's full of heart, and I want you to remember that for later. What we ended up getting was a boring, miserable film that lacked any soul. And the cope from the Access Media has been nothing short of glorious, ranging from the Marvel Cinematic Universe's audience has aged out overnight to lack of promotion due to the Film Actors Guild strike, which, in my opinion, has helped the film. Instead of having a $46 million opening weekend, if Brie Larson was out there, it probably would have had a $30 million opening weekend.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
Yup! We've heard excuses like superhero fatigue, and quite frankly, I think it's just MCU fatigue. And then there's the old Access Media favorite, it's the fans' fault for being racist, misogynist,
and all the movies
sexist,
suffer from the same fatigue. It's all under the umbrella of woke fatigue. That's what it is. And, I see, I'll address this really quick. I know a lot of you, or at least some of you I see in the comments, say that you hate that the word woke has been hijacked. I do too. I know what woke really meant, what it used to mean, and what it truly means, actually. It was, a different way of saying awake. Black folks always put a twist on stuff. So we started saying, yo, you woke us? Yo, you know what you told, yo, you. It was like saying based in a way, But yes, it has been hijacked. Just like I always tell you guys, when you guys say hater, you guys have changed hater into something else. Just for not liking something, you are a hater. Hater's true meaning is hating on someone. You don't like them because you're jealous of what they have or who they are or what they can do. But they have amassed as a man. Basically, it was a player hater. It came from player hater. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Be mad at the fact that you can't do what he did. You can't use the tools that he did to pull the women and get the money and do all this stuff that he did. Don't be mad at me. Hate the game. This is how it is. This is how everything goes for you to be able to pull women like this and get money like this. That's what it was. It was guys talking about guys that are jealous. Y'all just use it for anything. I don't like bananas. You're a banana hater. What? So anyway, yeah, it is what it is.
Bigots. And then there's the other favorite from the Access Media. It's YouTubers for precisely the same reasons.
Yeah.
From the Washington Examiner, the Marvels bombs at weekend box office after anti-woke backlash.
Yeah, they're all suffering from the same thing. All under that damn umbrella. And people don't like it. There's nothing to do. I guarantee you, because we're a small portion, that if YouTubers and other people that write their columns and whatever weren't saying anything, you would still see an organic drop. We help get it out more about how people feel. But, listen, I wasn't watching YouTube until I started doing YouTube. Understand that. Understand that? You get what I'm saying? So there's a ton of people out there that do not watch YouTube that are not going.
From garbage tier inside the magic, the Marvel's director tackles anti-woke MCU fans. And from Forbes, which is now behind a paywall, the Marvel faces anti-woke backlash after box office flop. From CBR, the Marvel's director reacts to MCU films' woke criticism. From The Direct, the Marvel's director responds to woke backlash to movie. And one of my personal favorites, the Marvel's box office North America wins a special box office record. It costs $2.5 million a minute, $43,000 a second, gets slammed by anti-woke backlash, and much more. And a lot of this might sound familiar, because it is. It sounds exactly like the articles that were written back in 2019 when Captain Marvel was released. But times have changed. What worked then isn't working now. Our good friend Scotty Mendelson, formerly of Forbes, famous Marvel shill, and big fan of cuties, agrees.
I think what we're seeing is that the comic book superhero film, even from Marvel and DC, are far more execution dependent than they used to be. They're not getting arguably the free pass that they got from 2016 to 2019.
Now, I'm not so sure DC was getting a free pass, but I appreciate your honesty, Scotty, by admitting that Disney Marvel was getting a free pass. And again, it looks like that free pass has expired, and it's been great. And I could read these headlines all day, and as a matter of fact, I have been.
Yeah, like so many news media outlets that are mainstream are on this. It's like, it's really interesting, because in the beginning, you would see these articles, attacking the fans and, YouTubers and stuff. And what changed? That's what I want to know. What changed? Because, in my head, there are certain people I think were shilling. They were shilling without, and from what I know, they were shilling without being paid because they wanted to stay in favor. And I think there were some that were paid to shill. But what changed? What changed? That mainstream media is now like, yo, what are you doing? I'm going to get me a Pelts t-shirt and wear it every time that I do something on Disney, just hoping to God that he changes it up. What changed that they now basically, in a way, turned on them? or they're willing to write stuff that is telling the truth about what's happening to Disney's box offices. You know, their numbers. Well, what?
From the famous alt-right outlet, The Hollywood Reporter, box office bomb. The Marvels opening to 47 to 52 million. We now know it was 46 million. In new low for Marvel Studios. From Variety, box office, The Marvel misfires with, we now know, 46 million. Lowest MCU opening weekend of all time. After The Marvels bombs at the box office, what's next for the MCU? Well, I guess the question would be, what's next for the MCU? And we'll get to that. The Marvels meltdown, Disney's MCU seeing lowest box office opening ever at, we now know, 46 million. What went wrong? Aside from the fact that they spent well over $250 million on this film and then released it, it turns out that the film made by diverse women, starring diverse women, for women, wasn't watched by any women. I mean, could things possibly get any worse for the Marvels, Kevin Feige, and the MCU?
As long as they keep going, it will get worse. As long as they keep going, doing the same thing, it's going to get worse.
Astronaut theorists say yes.
From Screen Rant, The Marvels collapses at the box office with record-breaking second weekend drop that's worse than Morbius. The new Marvel Cinematic Universe outing, The Marvels, has the worst second week drop of any comic book movie. You heard that right. The Marvels had the worst second week drop of any comic book movie ever. For Variety, the Marvel's box office has taken a huge hit in its second weekend after earning the lowest opening weekend of the entire MCU. It has now grossed an additional and meager $10.2 million at the domestic box office, a staggering drop of 79%. That includes an 87% drop from Friday to Friday. Currently, the Marvels is sitting at $65 million here in the States. It's earned $96 million internationally for a grand total of $161 million. It is in danger of...
I don't understand how they thought this was going to work. I don't get it. With that budget, I don't get it. They thought the Marvels was going to work. They thought Indiana Jones 5 was going to work. I just don't understand this. They thought Eternals was going to work. God, it's just all these different ones. They thought Ant-Man and the Wasp was going to work. Even though I kind of enjoyed myself, they thought that Thor Love and Thunder was going to work. Like, over and over and over again, they think these movies are going to work. They thought Elemental was going to work. God, man. They thought Lightyear was going to... Like, I don't get this. It's amazing what they're doing. Amazing. The insanity.
Not making $100 million here in the States and possibly not making $250 million in total. Domestically, it did $2.8 million on Friday, $4.4 million on Saturday, and $3 million on Sunday. And if you look at that per theater total, on Friday it was $695 per theater, $1,092 on Saturday, and $744 per theater on Sunday. It's terrible. And believe it or not, things just got worse. In its second week, the Marvels finished in 4th place. But not to worry, because at least for the time being,
Thanksgiving was way better.
Going anywhere, it's just been massively delayed. Sure, Echo is just around the corner, but I don't think that's going to make much noise. And in some time in 2025 or 2026, we're going to get...
And if he hadn't did that, I wouldn't have got the joke. I would have just kept watching. Glad you threw that in there.
the Harkness series, and Ironheart. On the movie front, the Captain America sequel without Captain America has been delayed because it's being completely reshot and replaced with the savior of Marvel, a Deadpool sequel featuring the Fox X-Men, a film that has yet to complete principal photography thanks to the Film Actors Guild strike and is due out in July, but I'm rooting for it. And not to pile on the Marvels too much, of who the hell am I kidding? Of course I want to pile on the Marvels. There was something else I noticed. From the Variety article about the Marvels director, how the Marvels got its blurred girl energy. By the way, blurred means black nerd. I think a better headline would be, how the Marvels got its fake geek girl energy. Nia DaCosta ignored the haters and made the movie her teenage self would want to see. Well, unfortunately, no one else did. DaCosta's pitch for the Marvels was punctuated by a few big ideas, and earlier on, I asked you to remember this. First, she wanted to make a movie that was fun, funny, and full of heart. And that's interesting. You may remember previous keywords being associated with past Marvel films that were used over and over again, including absolute triumph or just triumph with Shang-Chi and with the Eternals. Different.
Everybody looks different. Different way.
It being a very different Marvel movie. Well, we have something similar
it was
here
different.
over at the Rotten
It was
Tomatoes
more worse than
verified
usual.
audience scores, which are currently sitting at 83%. This movie was just fun. We binge watched Miss Marvel before we watched this one. And I think it made it even more fun, exciting, and fun and enjoyable. Good action scenes and overall a ton of fun. Fast-paced and so much fun. I loved it. It was funny. It's a fun movie. Great movie. Fun. Action-filled. Great to see the growth higher, further, faster. This movie was so much fun. It's sad to see how negative people are, and they just don't know how to enjoy fun movies anymore. Don't believe the haters. The Marvel was a fun movie with touching character
I guess that's
moments.
the Twilight
Fun for the
Zone
whole
weird
family.
vibe.
Very fun movie. Great fun. Funny movie. It was a fun movie. Fun movie. Great fight scenes. Short and fun. Fun and entertaining. And that was just a sample. It goes on
That's what that
and
was.
on. Now that is what I call review bombing, but I'm sure it's a total coincidence. This never was really a matter of rooting for the Marvels to fail, because we didn't need to. We knew it would, and it was just a matter of sitting back and waiting for it to happen. Because this isn't our first rodeo, and there's a lot of reasons this happened, including one pointed out by my good friend Chris Gore. Turning Marvel and Star Wars into girl brands will prove to be one of the costliest decisions in entertainment history, without a doubt. Unfortunately, in both Disney Marvel and Disney Star Wars case, they turned boy brands that girls liked into girl brands that nobody likes. While all the focus is deservedly on the Marvels, it's always been bigger than just another bad MCU film. This pop culture cancer started almost a decade ago in gaming and comics. Then there was Ghostbusters 2016 and metastasized into Star Wars, Star Trek, and Doctor Who. And the corporations and the corporate media hid behind these divided fandoms and pit one against the other while vilifying a large portion of it. Vilifying the very people you rely on. The fan. The paying customer. Poisoning and dividing fandoms that had gotten along, in some cases, for decades prior to that. Then it led to a full-blown fan revolt with the Rings of Power when the Tolkien fandom soundly defeated a $1 trillion company in Amazon. And here we are a year later.
You know, blaming the fans thing is a crazy thing. That'd be like me putting out a video and then putting out a video or a post the next day saying, yo, it's all your fault. My video didn't get no views. What's wrong with y'all? And y'all like, well, dude, you put out a video on the Care Bears. We don't watch the Care Bears. So why would we watch your video on the Care Bears? Was it the Care Bears teaming up with Optimus Prime? Were they teaming up with Fast and Furious? No. Is this a Zack Snyder Care Bears movie? Is Christopher Nolan making a Care Bears movie? So you just talking about the Care Bears. we don't watch the Care Bears. You want us to watch? Put out something you know that we like. That's it. Disney, what you're doing is you're putting out the Care Bears. When we really want Optimus Prime and everything else that I said, plus everything else that I didn't say that you know that we love.
And just in the last couple of months, we've seen Ahsoka fail on the Disney Star Wars side. South Park came out and embarrassed Disney. Disney continued to embarrass itself. The mighty Marvel Cinematic Universe has fallen, and the Marvels is one of the biggest comic book film flops of all time. So yes, the fandom is now collectively celebrating the failure of the Marvels, but it's well beyond that. It's the failure of woke Hollywood. It's the failure of Disney. It's the failure of the MCU. It's the failure of intersectional feminism. It's the failure of identity politics. And it's a failure the corporate access media and corporate Hollywood have earned.
Now I'm
Hello. It's Grace Randolph here. So, did he say anything wrong? Not at all. You tell me what he said wrong on that list. Nothing.
sure you've heard the term MCU. It's being used by some fan communities. And yes, the term is extremely offensive, but it's also becoming undeniably true.
In the words of Gina Carano, the jig is up, and it took us a while to get here, but I'm glad it happened. Yes, The Marvels is a massive box office bomb, and that is a culture war win, because pop culture is culture. And while it's highly unlikely, maybe some will learn a valuable lesson, and this goes for everyone in the entertainment industry, from comic books to gaming to television to film. You reach the most people by making good stories, not taking them.
Nerdrotic.
You damn right. What they're doing right now is taking them to their grave.
Thank you for listening this long. I will see you in the next video.
That's what they're doing. Good Lord. Thank you for the content. Nerdrotic. Keep doing and fighting the good fight. I'll hold up my end. You hold up yours. All of you watching, hold up your end too. Make sure you're letting your voices be known respectfully. I think we'll get through to them eventually, and we will start to get great entertainment once again. Keep hope alive. 10 million subscribers.